Hello everybody. I was just going to make a quick video here. I've gotten several emails talking about the earlier simplification of the tutorials and wondering if I was going to make one this week. And I was planning on making a short video, but the tutorial this week in Django Girls is finally up to what we were covering and just some basic stuff, what I would consider an introduction. Now that we're past all that stuff with GitHub and the server configurations and automating the server configurations so that if something goes wrong and another server automatically boots up and configures itself so that users can never tell your page went down. And that really complicated stuff that doesn't seem like introduction level. We're past that, and the tutorial this week is kind of looking at those things that we've been seeing. I've been thinking about sending a short video out all week, but whoever scheduled the curriculum committee meetings this summer scheduled them all for the same week. So I have been in meetings all week long. If anybody tried to come by my office hours, that's why I wasn't on that Zoom call. So our tutorial for this week, if I can find modules here, there it is. Where are we at? Module 6. Templating, that sounds like what we've been doing, and dynamic data sounds fancy, but that's what we've been doing with the dictionaries. We use our Python script to modify a dictionary, and then we send that. So where are these at? Templates. Dynamic data and templates, probably both on this page. So we have, oh, no, templates is probably on the other one. Look at Django templates, and the sort of templates, we throw this into the HTML, which they don't have an example here. Oh, kind of an example. So we throw our special symbols in. So in this case, a for loop. So we'll send in a list, which is one of the main things I wanted to point out over here. We'll send in a list, and then we just loop through it. Y'all have seen for loops before. We'll loop through it, and each time they organized it into a Python object. So there's a post, and then each one of them has a date and a title, but just sorting through a list that will come in as a dictionary key. So where did they do that? I think it was, saw it somewhere when I was looking at the template. Maybe it was that was what was on the other page. So this is the part we've been looking at, just basic usage. Put some special symbols, the curly braces, and with a % for an if else or a for loop to go through a list, and 2 curly braces with the key from a dictionary. And their dictionary, it looked kind of like a mess here. Oh yes, this line. That creates a list. All that's doing is making a list. So if you just want to make a regular Python list and throw it into your dictionary, oh, here's where it is. So they make a list. This does not look like square brackets with 3 or 4 things inside like we're used to, but that is a more advanced version of making a list. So we send the list to the dictionary, and then that key, the HTML template will recognize that key. So that's stuff we've been doing before. That's kind of what I thought was more of an introduction to Django. Yeah, so then we just have the for loop that spits out the things in that key. And the other thing is making it look nice, which if you've had the SDEV 153 or maybe 155 class, we can add in some style sheets, and that's kind of the new one. There's also pieces of templates. If you want to look through this, if you want to go to template extending and look through this, that'll be fine. If you don't get the extending the templates together, I am perfectly okay with that for an introduction level. So make the extensions extra, keep it in mind for later, but for introduction, these 2 things are what we have been looking at. We put together a Python dictionary and then send that to a template with some HTML code intermingled with our curly braces and curly brace for straight data key, and curly brace %sign for an if else or a for loop. So kind of what we've been seeing. The CSS is new, so that's just making things look nice. I'm going to jump over to Python Anywhere and look at the previous example to kind of talk about that. And since I didn't get this video out till today, I guess, which is Saturday, and time might feel like it's running a little bit short, feel free to take a little bit extra time on this, experiment around. The templates cover the stuff we need to see, like how to get data from our Python scripts to the HTML page, which is what we've been looking at. But the next big step is to make it look nice, and there's a standard for HTML5. You can just add that in here, I think. I'll create a new file. Oh, I have to give it a name. mystuff.css. I'll create a new Cascading Stylesheets file. And for those who've seen this before, we just kind of, there's a standard. I'll point you towards a reference here in just a second if you haven't seen it yet. Oh, yeah, haven't done anything yet. So in templates, on the home page, there wasn't much there. There's an H1 tag and a body tag, so there's not a whole lot we can style. So I'll come over here to the style sheet, which is in the same folder, so should be able to reference it quickly. And they kind of look like this. For those who have studied C++ before, cascading style sheets are just a C++ struct with a bunch of preset properties. So we say what tag we want to define, or since I was just talking about C++, for those who know it, which generic are we adding structure to? For those who have seen C++, but for those who haven't studied C++, the name of the tag we want to change, and then some curly braces, and in between we assign some preset properties, such as the background color. And we'll give it a colon, and looks like the automatic text insertion already put a semicolon in the line, but we'll give it a background color. So the hashtag to start an RGB color is our basic one, so maybe 45 red, A2 in green, and 54 blue. That'll give us a little bit of red, a lot of green, and a little bit of blue, so should be a dark green color. And then we also had an H1 tag to style up. I'll set the color on this. If we're in HTML, the default is to text, so we don't have to say foreground color. If you use CSS elsewhere, you might have to specify foreground. But our foreground color, maybe something gray. EA. So if it's equal amounts of red, green, and blue, it will be gray, and all zeros is black, all F's is white. So the closer you are to all F's, the lighter the color of gray is. So that should give us some style rules to apply to our page, and we just need to link it. So back over in that template, we connect to a style sheet by putting in a link tag, and we have to have a couple things here. So the relevance is that it's a style sheet. There's a MIME type we don't have to put for CSS. It's text format with CSS data. We don't actually have to put that, but that's what MIME type looks like. They always look like that. I'll just go with the do we need. So the relevance is it's a style sheet, and then where do we find it? And there are two ways to find things. We can do either source or hyperlink reference. So a source is when we need all the data every time in the same order. So like an image file. We can't get by with part of a ping file. If it's a .png image, we need the whole ping file, so we need the whole file every time in the same order. So that's a source. If we can get by with parts of it, we want to do a hyperlink reference in a style sheet. We might not need every style rule every time. So we'll hyperlink reference to where it's at. And I completely forgot what I called it. I have to come back over here and look at the files. Oh, mystuff.css. So hyperlink reference to mystuff.css in the style tag, save that. So now when we refresh and open the page, have to reload it because the server will keep sending the old image. We don't want to have somebody looking at our site while we're editing it, and then what they're looking at changes. Let's see. So there's the root level up, and there's the rest of it. So we go in here. Oh, looks like it couldn't find the style sheet. So it's looking at the wrong spot for it. So we need this to be the reference of where it's at. But if we look through here, that's not a folder we have. So that's going to be a big difference from what you may have seen in your SDEV 153 class. So let's see, I'll close this. You couldn't find the style sheet, so for our stuff this week, the easy way around it, I'm going to come back in here and, oops, that's not the one I wanted. In this folder where the templates are. So unlike if we were just putting regular HTML on a server, we can't just stick it in the same spot. So the easiest way around it is to copy the stuff from there and just do an embedded style tag in your template. So up here in the head section, instead of linking to an external one, let's just put in a style tag and paste those style rules in. Maybe do some indenting, make that look nice. So you can also put the HTML style tag right in there. The rules kind of look the same way. I'm going to save this and resend that out to any clients. Make sure we're looking at the latest version. Should be able to reload the page and see that color. There we go. So adding some colors and sizes and different things to make it look nice. The links are a little complicated. They're explained in there, but you have to, basically the alternative is you'll need to refer to those in your URLs. Oops, that's not where I was going. Over here, and the alternative to doing an embedded style sheet, if you want to use an external one, oh, that's not the right folder. Go to this folder, and then in views, here's the home page. In the dictionary that you send back, you'll need to send back where that style sheet is, and then grab it from there. So, and really the best place is just somewhere else on the internet. Some storage, some file server somewhere. And it gets to be really, really complicated connecting to a style sheet in Django. The best place is to put it somewhere in just a file server, like an AWS S3 bucket. That would be the ideal spot, and then just send that address back from your views file when you fill in the template. The easy way for us this week is just to go with an embedded style sheet and just stick the style rules right into your HTML template. A whole lot easier that way, and if you're not familiar with it, the official reference is going to be W3 Schools. Go down to the Learn CSS or CSS reference, and things like colors, borders. All of their stuff has these little text editors to try it. So you'll run this stuff and adjust things. Like maybe I want great big wide border. Give that a try. Okay, that looks better. And instead of dotted, make that dashed. Run that, and then if you use the little editor here, you can see the changes in live time. Change the color to red as well. Run that, and when you're happy with it, you'll notice this comes in as an embedded style sheet. So just copy and paste that over to the template to get the colors you're looking at, making your web page look nice. That'll be the easy way to go with it this week, but experiment around with it, give it some tries. The actual tutorial is finally up to what we've been looking at, only again with the comprehensive stuff. So there's some extra stuff in there. Try to weed down to just the introduction level and take some time to experiment. Since I didn't get the video here out till Saturday, if you need a little more time, that's fine. Take it. I'm much more concerned with correct than quick until we run out of time on July 31st. So our tutorial's still good, but we can see in the assignment, we've already been looking at those two things. This is the new thing. Make it look nice. We want something better than black letters on a white background, because that's really boring to look at. And this part, if you can't get that worked out, I'm not going to examine that part too hard, but at least read over it in the template. The template covers things, and set your style sheet to an embedded style sheet. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Hopefully that'll simplify the stuff from this week, and y'all have a good week. Let me know if you have any questions.